We are on the editing part of the writing process. Let's take a look. I can utilize different tools to edit my capitalization, punctuation, spelling, and grammar. We're first going to start with the proofreading marks anchor chart. You'll see this up in the classroom. I also have a student copy as well. When you're editing your own paper or editing someone else's paper, you want to make sure you use common proofreading marks. That way you and your partner both understand what your suggestions are. So here are those marks here. If you're adding a new paragraph, you'll do this weird backwards P. If you're adding words or letters, you'll do a caret. Capitalization has these 3 lines and so on. So make sure you try to use common proofreading marks. Another tool you can use to check your capitalization, spelling, grammar, punctuation, all that stuff is this editing checklist. I use this all the time. First on the left, this is the list of everything that needs to be capitalized. On the right, everything that needs to be punctuated. So I'm just going to name some of these punctuations. Quotation marks down here show that someone's speaking. Commas create a pause or join compound sentences. So again, look for this editing checklist in the class to use as a tool to make sure you have everything that you need. All right. Now that we've touched on capitalization, the 2 tools everyone will use, you want to choose your focus. So what do you need the most practice with? What are you still learning? If you're still focusing on capitalization and punctuation, that's great. Maybe that's your focus. If you're already strong with these areas, maybe you have a lot of dialogue, a lot of speaking in your story, that might be your focus. If you're strong in all these areas, maybe you want to focus on plurals or homophones or apostrophes. So let's look at those tools so you can decide right now, what is your focus going to be? So the first one is capitalization. If you're focusing on capitalization, look for this resource in the classroom. The most common one I see is making sure I is capitalized when it's by itself. So thumbs up if that's going to be your focus. Here's the punctuation tool to help. So periods we've talked about, questions, exclamation marks, and again, apostrophes is the biggest one I see a lot of people missing too, making sure you're using apostrophes correctly with punctuation. All right, if you've got capitalization and punctuation down, maybe you're going to focus on dialogue. So if someone's actually talking in your story, like my sister yelled at me, get out of my room, you might focus on dialogue. So this one has a lot of rules, but use this guide to help you to know where to place your commas and your quotation marks. And again, you'll have a teacher as well to help you. Might your focus be plural nouns? So there's different rules when there's more than one of a noun. So for example, if something ends in a Y, like we went to the party after school, there's a Y at the end, the Y changes to I and you add ES. So it becomes parties, P-A-R-T-I-E-S. If your word ends with a vowel and then a Y, you keep the Y and you add S. If a word ends in F or F-E or I-F, like chief or chiefs, you only add the S. If a word F and it sounds like V, so wife, becomes wives. So the F changes to V and then add ES. So there's lots of rules with plurals as well. So maybe that's your focus. We have apostrophes, when to add apostrophes. And again, this tool will be up. So decide if you want this to be your focus. And lastly, homophones. So words that sound the same, but are different in spelling and meaning. So make sure you spell your homophones correctly. So back to this, decide right now, what's your focus going to be? You really want to pick 1, maybe 2 areas. If you choose too many, it's going to be overwhelming and you won't get any better at the one you're focusing on. So take a look at your writing right now. What do you need the most practice with? What are you still learning? What's your focus? Be ready to share with a friend.